8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is good, everyone? It is your boy Politic and Hot alongside my guy, Mr. Joy Woods. We are Still Steps, coming to you live on a beautiful Friday evening, courtesy of All Authentic Talk Sports Network. Mr. Joy Woods, how you doing this evening, sir?
Can't complain. Looks like we're gonna have a beautiful weekend. Nice weather, so I can't complain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's probably like one of the best weekends we've had by far this entire summer. You know,
Yeah.
not as humid. A little bit of a cool wind during the evening time, so it gives that little prelude to the fall season that's coming. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna be going back up in the temperatures pretty soon. You know, we have to
Oh,
still
you know that once we get to the mid-August, the scorching heat.
Yeah, no, definitely. But you know what I mean? Speaking of summer, you know, we had SummerSlam this past weekend, the 2-night event. I thought it was a pretty decent show. Before we even dive into that, you know, we're gonna have our little state of the promotion regarding WWE. Going to talk about, you know, the aftermath of SummerSlam and what to expect going into the third and fourth quarter of 2025 with WWE. But I wanted to start tonight out with the big news that hit a couple of days ago, which was ESPN making a deal with WWE. This was something that I definitely didn't see, you know, coming to a certain extent. But WWE, ESPN, the announcement was made on Wednesday, bringing fans, the WWE universe over to the ESPN platform. You know, this type of splash, you know, in the world of sports entertainment, is a deal that was made that's going to bring the WWE premium live events exclusively to ESPN's launch direct to consumer service, which is going to be priced at $29.99 a month. Disclaimer for those who may have like third-party apps, such as like the Paramounts, and if you already have the ESPN on there, then you will be basically guinea pigged into being able to watch the premium live events from there. But again, the announcement was made on Wednesday, bringing fans the opportunity to be able to see events like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series over on the ESPN platform, beginning in 2026. So we're in this day and age of streaming and being on our mobile phones more than usual. So it looks like, with WWE taking this initiative where bringing both the sports world as well as the entertainment world to the the platform of ESPN. But we all know this is a TKO win. You know what I mean? For
That's why this is confusing,
everyone.
right? That's why this is confusing because USC for the last year has made it known that they're probably on the way out of ESPN. Over the past year, and in fact, I just saw that I believe quarter three this year's numbers have been put out so far, and through the first three quarters, the UFC pay-per-views on ESPN are down year over from
Oh
last year
wow.
till now. So if we're lumping WWE and UFC together in that TKO platform.
Right.
This is a huge, like, what the hell? Because, like, you would think wherever UFC ends up in 2026 is where WWE would end up, because UFC's contract with ESPN is actually up as of December of this year. And they've been shopping around, and we're talking in the billions for
Mm.
whoever they end up with. The rumor on the street was Netflix, maybe Amazon. So I'm curious to see where that goes. But for them to go to ESPN and then TKO kind of leave ESPN with UFC, it was a little bit of a head scratcher, but we'll see. Maybe this gets UFC to stay. Maybe it was a package deal, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I think that it is a leverage move, knowing that both TKO runs the UFC and the WWE. So with WWE already taking that step, it almost leads to the Disney partners to have to make a move as far as keeping both affiliates under one one streaming platform. That way, you get the bang for your buck, where like we're already seeing, like with the cross promotion during the events, where WWE promote UFC, as well as having a talent that sits ringside, which I got a bone to pick with WWE in a few minutes regarding the whole celebrity roast situation. But I do think, yeah, like this is something that it's a strategic move to convince UFC to stick around on the ESPN app. So, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
but I mean, I don't. I think also you have to look at the price point, right? Like UFC is almost like, I think it's upwards of $80 for the pay per view, right? Not even like you need ESPN Plus to even have a chance
To
to rent the
watch
pay
it,
per view, right?
right?
So you need the $15 or so, whatever it is at this point, ESPN Plus on top of the $80 extra watch pay per view. Maybe that's why the pay per views are down, right? Not because ESPN or TKO is a bad product. It's just people can't afford that nowadays, you know? So maybe if UFC stays and it's a package deal, they can come to an agreement with a price point for everything. But
Right.
$80 is a hefty price to pay for a pay per view.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we come a long way from the pay-per-view days, because remember, like, wrestling pay-per-views used to be like 50-60 bucks, like,
Yeah.
honestly, it may still be that case with certain promotions that still run on pay-per-view. I was actually getting ready to bring up, like, the pricing of this, and someone had did the math as far as if someone were to be invested into both AEW and WWE, like you're looking at like ups to a total of, like, I think it was like over, like almost like close to $1,200 for the entire year, just to be able to watch the brands on those respected platforms. Like, yeah, listen, WWE, they about their
And
money
that
right
probably
now.
don't even include a cable package.
No, not at all. Yeah,
Like,
and look, or the internet that you need to use to be able to watch
yeah,
the stuff. Like,
that's insane.
yeah, it's
Stuff.
definitely
I think we talked about this before a lot too, and this is just like a broader issue across the board for wrestling. Not even wrestling, just TKO.
right.
Um, they're kind of pricing the middle class out of wrestling. Like, for example, my son's birthday is the 17th, next Sunday.
Yeah.
Raw is the very next day, the 18th.
Hmm.
The cheapest ticket before today was like $95 to sit like last row for a Raw, where you might get 6 matches if you're lucky.
That's crazy.
The average family can't afford, just say there's three of you, right? After taxes and fees, you're like $110 a piece, just say. You're talking 320 just for the tickets, not including the food, not including the parking, not including merchandise. You're close to $500 for an average night of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
What middle class family can afford $500 for a Raw on Monday night?
Right. I was just telling a friend about this the other day about how the price just for one Monday Night Raw can be equivalent to almost a full residency for AEW's a
Yeah,
residency that they got at the 2300 arena.
yeah, no, you're not kidding, bro. I
Like,
went to SummerSlam this past weekend. Obviously, we got aftermarket tickets because it's sold out,
right.
but I paid about after taxes and fees about 130 a ticket, right? So there's three of us went. You're looking at 390 for the tickets. Then parking was $40. Then food was about $50. Right there is 480 just to eat, get in, and park,
Look,
not including
you ain't
any
even get to your
merchandise.
look, you ain't even get to your seat yet.
Seriously,
Like,
like that. It's just it's insane, you know. Like TKO, I think really needs to start thinking about the fans who got WWE to the point where they were, which is the middle class. You know, and because eventually, I
Mhm.
said this before, they're gonna get burnt out, right? Because like you can only afford so many trips to WrestleMania at X dollars before you're maxing out those credit cards, before the pot runs dry, right? And right now it's fine and dandy. They're making record profits, but
Right.
3, 4, 5 years down the line, is is the average fan going to have fatigue with spending excess triple the amount of when it was a Vince McMahon owned company versus a TKO company?
And it's crazy as this may sound, and you know, I've we both watched wrestling for God knows how long. I'm a little older than you, so like, I go back a ways as far as like when like ringside tickets were worth $50, and like where we are now, where like you're paying almost up to 2 grand just for a Raw, 6 to 7 thousand for a PLE, like to sit ringside. Like it's insane. And something kind of rubbed me the wrong way watching Raw this past Monday, but just in general with the whole celeb bro matter,
Oh,
where
I hate that, bro. It drives me
like
insane.
yeah, like I understand that you want to make you want to make your shows as popular than what it already is, but like every single week we got to get the celebrity thrown in our face. But what kind of pissed me off, I don't know if I should even say pissed me off, but I don't know, I might be on my soapbox here on this
So
one,
pull out your
but let
Family
me
Guy. You know what? You know what really grinds
you
my
know you know
gears?
what grinds my gears, like,
Lindsay
okay.
Lohan.
So they were in Brooklyn on Monday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You know, we kind of have a knowing as far as like, you know, those who are like true fans of pro wrestling and those who may not be the avid watchers. So,
The clout
you know,
chasers.
yeah. So Monday, I'm like, really? Like, they do the celeb, bro. Now we got Joe Button sitting ringside. Like, you know, I like, Joe Button Pod or whatnot, but I'm like, Joe, you ain't never talk about wrestling on your show.
Usually, when you see
Like,
people like that, Hawk, it's usually someone who maybe if they haven't announced it yet, they have a Netflix special coming out, or they're in the works to have a Netflix special come out.
well,
Netflix likes to gauge the water on how the fans react to it.
I feel like in this case, they utilize Joe because of his popularity with his podcast, which does millions of views. But I'm like, dude, really? Like, and then you got my guy Method Man, you know what I mean, sitting ringside. Like, all these people, I'm a fan of, but you ain't I've never.
I think Method Man's a wrestling fan because I've seen him at a couple events before.
Yeah, he probably is. I just haven't seen him in a while, but like, I'm like, really? Like Joe? I'm like, if anything,
Well, how
like,
about
I don't know
Drewski? How
how
about
familiar.
Drewski at SummerSlam?
Yeah,
He
he was
actually had
doing the
a video
video.
package. Like,
Right.
Like
You
really,
know,
like I don't know if half the fans even know who Drewski is.
it's I hate to say it because coming up as a kid, like there wasn't a lot of black people that really watch pro wrestling. So it was almost like you kind of had to find your circle as far as like who actually was watching. But it's like now, like I totally understand the marketing tool that they're doing, but it's over the top pandering that's going
Yes.
on right now.
Yeah, it's definitely
Over the top.
pandering.
Like it's
Like when the whole
almost
cast of a show is there and stuff, like that's overkill. You know they're
yeah,
only there to promote the show.
right, right. And
It
then they
happened this
leave.
week, right? It happened this week.
Yeah, it was the Wednesday crew.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They
like
have
they
no
were
idea what
there.
they're even watching, bro.
Right. Like they looking at that, yeah, they clapping on in front of the camera. Like I'm like, yo, total pandering move.
And you know it's
Like,
only major cities, right? Like
yeah,
Chicago, Philly, Brooklyn, uh, Los Angeles. You know what I mean? So like, they don't have them in like random bumblefuck Alabama, right? Like they're at all
now that
these major cities.
now I will say, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Crawford's from Nebraska, and he was there for that show. But of course, it makes sense because he had upcoming fights that was coming up too. So it's like,
Who, Terrence
definitely got to,
Crawford?
yeah.
Well,
I
that
think
makes
it's from
sense
like,
too because WWE is TKO is part promoter of the upcoming fight.
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like just over the top with it though. Like again, I totally get it. Like I understand, the marketing and for them, play devil's advocate is a genius, absolutely, because you're marketing to what give me is cool to the cool kids right
Yeah.
now. Like, so if they see Joe Button being a part of WWE and then he starts talking about it on his podcast, then it's like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go check WWE out. Like,
Yeah.
like I get it to that point, but
I think in a way
just
we kind of started our State of the Union. I mean, the
yeah,
first State of the Union of the WWE is pandering, right? Like
yeah,
one word to describe the current product is pandering, right?
yeah.
Like,
Whatever's
but
popular that's going on outside of the world of professional wrestling, they're now trying to take their, get their hands on it, which is similar to what, Vince McMahon did with
yeah, but this
developing.
is
But wait, hold on, wait, like developing WrestleMania and stuff, like, what I mean, pulling in like the big attractions with the celebrities or the athletes. Like it's almost like it's a similar approach, but they're using it on a larger scale where they're bringing them in on a consistent basis where it's like, come on now, y'all ain't never had as many celebrities week after week on
I
Raw.
also think it's different, Hawk. It's I think the type of celebrity they're bringing in now versus before is totally different, right? Now it's
Yeah,
like a lot of like pop culture, like current people, right? Like Drewski, right? I don't know if Vince McMahon would ever bring Drewski in
probably
if
not.
the owner, right? Like Vince was here, you were getting like Johnny Knoxville, right? Like people like that, Drew Carey, Seth
Yeah,
Green, like goofy people like that, right? Now we're getting like Cardi B, right? Like it's different. It like I don't want to
or
sound off base here. I'm just gonna say it though.
or even like with the Jelly Roll, but my fault.
Well, yeah, Jelly Roll too, right? But that's the type of person they would bring in before, right? Because it's the country guy and stuff. But all that should have came out about Triple H, right? About not pushing the black athletes and kind of how they weren't on shows and stuff. Again, going back to that word pandering, it almost seems like he's bringing in like he's using a lot more hip hop songs for wrestling now and stuff to kind of show, hey, that's not true. Look, we're using this song for a pay per view. We're bringing Cardi B in, and like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
just push the fucking talent. You don't
yeah.
need to do all this extra shit. You know what I mean? Like you will get the fans of the minorities to come in if you push the people that look like them. You don't need to bring in Drewski or Cardi B to get the fans there. Just put them on the card.
See, and that's what's necessary, and not for this to go extremely way left. Because if they were to do it, you got some that are at home that's going to get on their phones and say, well, what's going on here? Why
Yeah.
why are they getting, significantly pushed all of a sudden? Like,
Yeah.
To them, they're going to feel like it's being thrown down their throats. Pause. Like that's like how they're going to feel. Just
Yeah. But
prime example.
I'm not even saying like because SummerSlam's a poor example because there was some good representations on SummerSlam,
Yeah.
but like in events past, there was one black athlete, maybe none.
Mhm.
Like obviously now you're gonna get Naomi because she's champion and stuff like that. But before that, from the male's perspective, I think there was the only black
Profit.
athletes from the male were Street Profits. That's it.
Yeah.
But across the board, who is there right now on the main roster?
I was thinking about that tonight because looking at SmackDown, looks like they're trying to relaunch Carmelo Hayes, where like he was going to Nick Aldis office, but Miz ended up coming out and basically Miz trying to hype him up. So I'm thinking they're probably going to go in a direction, maybe a Melo and Miz again, like what I mean, the two of them probably square up.
Yeah.
But I mean, like from the singles competitive side, honestly, it's really hard to what I mean, to judge. Like
Yeah.
thinking about it, like I don't have like the roster in front of me right now, but it's like everyone that they had an opportunity to evolve, they ended up just going left.
Or putting
Like
them in a group or something like that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like what
like
pissed me off, bro? Like I don't know how you feel about this.
for me, the New Day heel turn, like it just went to shits.
It fell flat. You know what I mean? New Day have done everything in their power to make it work, and it's just fallen flat. But you know what pisses me off right now? Now, obviously, they've been gone for a while, right? But when Swerve's group was like a what were they called?
Oh, the what was it? Hit Row.
Hit Row, right? When Hit Row was let go and B Fab was kind of left on our own, right?
Yeah,
Like, what? Because they're all minorities and stuff that you can just put B Fab and Street Profits together, and it's like, oh, just throw them together. You know what I mean? Like, it's such weak booking. It's such an easy out to me. It feels like you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
here's how to convey it and check off the box of getting that demographic. Oh, so let's just put them together and make everyone happy. Like it's such weak, lazy booking.
yeah. Yeah, no, that's the truth, and you got me saying the Family Guy word. Like it grinds my gear. Like when I see that, and then just in general too, like with how like give me overhype like the events, and then like you talk about the middle class family, then maybe going to attempt to maybe purchase tickets. Then when they see the prices of those tickets, it's like, good lord, like
Yeah, like bro, today someone put in the wrestling group I'm in. Oh, I just got tickets for the Philly show. Prices dropped. I'm going to Raw. So I was like, oh shit, let me go check. Right, the last row is still $70. So it went from 90 to 70. So a little bit more affordable. But
right.
again, for me and my son to go to Raw, I'm not paying like, and that's $70 isn't the fees because the fees are almost as much as the tickets.
Yeah, you might as well add extra 10 to 12 bucks on it on top of it.
That's on the low end, bro.
Right.
Like the other day, I tried to buy tickets off StubHub. Tickets were $19 for a Phillies game, right?
Mm,
I was gonna buy three, so that should be $60. I
right.
went to check out. My total was $119.
Oh wow.
Almost $50 in fees from StubHub.
And how many tickets was that?
Three tickets.
Wow.
$20 ticket turned into $119.
That's ridiculous.
So for me and my son to go to a Raw, we're looking at almost $160 just for tickets. I'm not
Right.
dropping on a Raw. I'm really not. When I could take them to GCW for the entire weekend
Yeah.
and see the exact same product. Not obviously it's not Raw, but it's still wrestling, right? Like
Right.
I don't know. I just think I'm really like pissed off with WWE that they're just like kind of pricing everyone out.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like it was a little pretty annoyed with them this week. Like with just it's just you can just see it now. Like everything is a marketing tool, or like you know what I mean, or like a ploy to okay, let's go ahead and get this demographic. All right, let's go get this demographic.
Yeah,
Okay, let's
yeah,
we get the most popular country star. Okay, we get him in, and that means we get you know what I mean, we get them in. Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Like
like
oh shit, we only have the Street Profits as male tag teams here. Let's bring in Drewski. Maybe we'll check off that demographic if we have Drewski. Or let's get Cardi B. Maybe we'll check off that demographic. And to me, that's cheap. That's cheap. Do a better job of pushing people that make everyone feel included.
yeah, pretty much like in a nutshell. But yeah, just
And I know this is a little controversial, but you know, you gotta talk about it. So just because it's controversial doesn't mean it shouldn't be talked about or pushed to the side.
no, because like even almost after like SummerSlam this weekend, like I don't know, I don't know, I just felt different about the company, like just
So did I.
overall. Like I'm like I like WWE, but this WWE right now, and I feel like this ain't my WWE at
No,
times.
no.
like
Like nothing for nothing.
like
Like
I don't lack fandom. Like I always enjoy I always enjoy a show, especially like you know what I mean the live events. You know what I mean if I attend. But I don't know, just like something was just off with what I saw like the entire weekend, and then with you know the surprise at the end of the show, it was like yeah
so. So let me talk about that real fast.
they just don't care.
Yeah, let me talk about that real fast. Right. So at the event, like me and my brother were kind of thinking someone was coming out. Right. So when Cody and Cena are hugging, you see the camera guy run to the top of the ramp with the camera. Right.
Right.
I'm nudging my brother. I'm like, oh shit, here comes the Rock. Right. Like the Rock's coming out. Right. And then when it's not, if you smell and it's the Brock Lesnar noise, obviously I just jumped up and was like, what the fuck? Like, just so shocked that it was Brock Lesnar, right? Because 2 months ago, we're being told he's on the banned list.
Right.
And now here's Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, your second biggest show of the year. So initially I was cheering, don't get me wrong, because it was such a shock to the system, right? Like no one
Yeah.
expected him. So I was cheering, but then after it was all said and done, I was a little heated, right? Me and this lady were walking out, and I was like, I guess speaking out and doing your due process doesn't mean anything. And the lady is like, I appreciate someone saying that because everyone's marking out over Brock, but he was named in a court case, right? And so I sat down and I did a little more research, and it turned out that legally he's not being sued. He
Right.
was just named in the court case. But even so, some of the stuff that they're saying, like he was willing to do and stuff, overall to me, it's like it makes me feel yucky cheering for you. Like I don't want to sound like a child saying that, but it makes me feel a little disgusting, like saying that I was cheering for this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely put a black eye on, or you know for the weekend event. It's funny like watching SmackDown tonight, and you know how like they do their recap of the PLEs from the weekend, and when it's like their biggest moments, how like they show like the top content creators, you know what I mean, how shocked they are for you know what I mean for that like that shocking moment. Look, like most of their tip usual creators that they show, they wasn't on there tonight.
Really?
No, hell no. Like you get a chance, take a look at it. Like it's like it was definitely some random folks that
Well, I'm
you
sure even
never even saw.
even people who were against Brock Lesnar, the way it was done and the way it was kept so hush hush, like not even like the dirt sheets were reporting it. I think everyone had the same reaction, like holy shit, right? But after that moment of realizing he's back, then I think everyone's reaction changed a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, like, ain't he involved in in that situation?
He asked a
I,
woman to see them.
I will say, I know of one person who actually called for him, my boy Ant. Like, he was like, yo, I think he's like, it's time for Brock to come back. Like, yeah, he was calling for that, and he called that shit too. I was like, ain't this some shit?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah, let me ask you about that because, like, your boy called for it, right? But no
yeah,
one else did. And then it turns out that the reason he came back was because Cena asked for it.
yeah.
Does that make you feel some type of way about Cena?
In a way, partial. In a way, yeah,
Yeah, I feel like
because
that too.
it's a for Cena, it's his legacy, and he wants to go out on a high road where he's doing it with those that he has a good working relationship with. You know what I mean? Like both him and Lesnar was in Ohio Valley. You know what I mean? Coming up. I mean, back in the day. So it's like him being able to get that last hurrah with him. Like that's the thing with that. But ah, between him, but also too, like, even if like Triple H wanted to shut it down, he could have. But they spun it to where apparently both him and Nick Khan had the conversation with Brock and was saying like this was the time to make the return, and like, yeah, it just it feels a little dirty.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
it all
even when
feels
all that
dirty.
stuff about Vince came out like last year or the year before, um, when they were asking John about it and stuff, like even then he wouldn't badmouth Vince. He was like, "I still love that man" and stuff like that. Even that, like I was like, "Oh, like maybe
Right.
something are better left unsaid." And I feel like maybe this is one of those stones are better left unturned.
Right. But I mean, we're outside looking in on that. Like
Well, no,
as
I'm not
we
saying
don't know.
he's
Like,
wrong for still caring about Vince, but again, like I said, maybe something are just better left unsaid. Is what I'm saying.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
maybe
like
he kind of came out and
maybe
said,
keep that what I mean with yourself. Like,
"Yeah,
yeah, no, I
like
got you.
Jalen said, keep the main thing the main thing."
Right, right, exactly. Like, no, that's true. But yeah, no, that was a little dirty. But yeah, I don't know. It just didn't work for me. And also too, I'm still annoyed with The Rock with everything that transpired with them now having to what I mean kill the Hill Cena run.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
even mentioning the Rock, I wanted to bring that up today.
yeah,
Uh, Travis Scott, right? Like again, we're talking about morals and standards, and like you know maybe not working with people who have done wrongdoings. I mean, that documentary that they put out on Travis Scott about that whole sicko world that he had and stuff, or whatever it was called, where 10 people died and stuff. Remember
oh
that?
yeah, yeah. They
There
put out a
was
documentary on
report.
that.
There's a documentary on Netflix about it.
Oh wow.
There was reports where he might have actually knew what was going on, bro, and just didn't stop the show.
Mm,
Like that's another thing. Like I don't know if these are people that the old WWE would touch,
right.
but now that I can generate a profit, who cares?
See, that's where it probably would be questionable, but then it would have to, what I mean, take some persuading from Triple H to have Vince, what I mean, give the green light on it. Like, there's probably like a certain limit that he probably would bring in if he, if he were,
Yeah, and I'm
still,
not even saying
still
Vince is
within the
like
reins.
this high moral compass. Because
Yeah, he's
now we
also a
know
piece
that.
of shit.
Yeah, now we know the truth about
Yeah,
Vince. But I don't know. I just felt like they didn't. I obviously they brought like Pete Rose in and stuff like that, but betting on a game is different than things that were being reported about Brock and stuff like that. You know?
right, right. No, I got you. Let me engage your thoughts on like the men's roster right now, because I mean, as of today, we got Cody, as the undisputed champion, and then we got Seth, who decided to cash in his money in the bank briefcase. I thought he was injured. Some most people assume, but
Yeah.
I'm telling you, once they dropped that WWE Unreal, I knew Seth was coming back. I was like, I feel like if they had not put that Netflix series out, I probably would have had more questionable, thought that all right, maybe he probably is truly injured. But as soon as they put that Netflix series out, I'm like, you know what? They're gonna tell that story whenever they decide to do their next rollout.
Yeah.
Like they're definitely gonna tell that story because
But you heard about
that,
that story, right? Like they said, like Dave Meltzer and stuff like that. And obviously, you got to take some of his stuff with a grain of salt.
yeah.
But the way WWE worked this angle, like backstage, like this was legit. Like they even worked the workers this injury. Like
Mm,
outside of like Becky and stuff like that, like they had him go to Alabama and get his
yeah.
knee checked, right? Like a lot of the workers didn't know that this was a work. Like they were
I
kept in the dark.
I truly think this is there's gonna be many more to come like this. Like, what I mean, keeping them all in the dark. Shit, even taking it to the next level of him being on a Rich Eisen show where he was discussing the injury and what I mean, explaining the injury. So now it's like whenever you have a pro wrestler on your stage or what I mean during the interview, you may not know whether or not if he's what I mean being genuine about what he's speaking of, whether it's an
That's
injury.
a slippery slope, bro.
It
That's a
is.
very slippery slope. Like not even for the sake of like TV shows, right? Because obviously wrestlers are in character and stuff. But
Right.
behind the scenes in the locker room, like they should be able to be their regular self. And if you're working the workers, I don't know, like as an employee, I would feel some type of way.
Honestly, I feel like from a leadership role, this is almost where it's almost like you can still kind of oversee like what they're putting out on like in social media and stuff. Because they probably don't like a lot of the stuff that's being thrown out there. For
Yeah, I
instance,
mean,
like
like for example, when they try to do OnlyFans and they shut that down and stuff.
yeah,
But you
I
know
was
what
even
they said
I
that's
was even
unreal? Unreal was made.
why
They can control the narrative,
yeah
right? Like, so it pretty much puts dirt sheets out of business
right
because now it's not whispered down the lane. He said, she said. You're getting the story, whether it's a true story or not. You're getting it from the direct from the horse's mouth, right? So they can control the narrative of why something went down that way. Now, obviously, I think a lot of that stuff on this new Netflix series is bullshit, and it's all staged. But it allows WWE, for example, the J win the Rumble, right?
yeah
They're able to control how that went down. So it's not he said, she said. It's you're seeing it firsthand now.
right yeah because they tried to make the case as far as although it was some truth to it, like when Michael Hayes was talking about like you got to strike while the iron is hot,
Yeah,
like which Jay was in fact hot, but Unreal they tried to paint the picture as far as like everybody. It seemed like everybody was on the punk train, but Michael Hayes,
yeah,
and somehow what I mean Michael Hayes was able to convince Triple H to to make the call for Jay to have the
yeah.
run.
But back to
Yeah.
your question about describing the roster. The word I'm gonna use, bro, right now is stale.
Hmm.
And the reason I'm gonna say that is because like 5 months ago, I felt like it was good, right? You had Jay and Gunther feuding.
Right.
Great story, different, right? It was different. Now we got Cody again. We got Seth again. Again, I don't not like it, but at some point it's like the same tried and true five or six guys. It's like we need to see new people more. And like for example, Sami Zayn, he's been playing this underdog spiel for 4 years. Like
Oh,
I'm just Like I just need something new. You know?
He got a enormous pop tonight because SmackDown was in Montreal and he got a big win over Solo. So I don't know if they may be in a direction where he might be going for the United States Championship. Well, could be
Yeah.
interesting, but it's almost like he still needs that that bloodline. You know what I mean? Prevalent. That it's that bloodline correlate. You know what I mean? Correlation
Yeah.
to get him over. Like it almost seemed that way. But
Yeah. I don't know. I was a huge Sammy fan, but like
yeah.
over the past like 5 months or so, I don't know. Something's
Let
changed.
Let me ask you: do you think Kevin Owens' injury might have played a burden into like where the direction of the undisputed title is right now? Because thinking about it, because him and Cody fought at the Rumble. But after that, then it was like literally right into the John Cena run, which Cena eventually got the title, and then Cody got it back as SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Like, do you think Kevin Owens may have stayed in the mix like for the undisputed championship?
I think it's possible because I think the rumor I heard last is the belt might be coming off Cody, right? Is Cody
Really?
who who is feuding with Cody next? Did they announce anyone yet? Was it
It looks like it might be Drew after tonight because
okay?
spoiler alert for anyone that didn't watch SmackDown. The main event was Cody and Cena going up against Drew and Logan Paul. Which by the way, Cena and Logan Paul are going to fight in Paris.
Really?
Yup,
Not Brock.
not Brock. Mm-mm.
That's gonna change.
I mean, maybe unless Brock does a surprise appearance in Paris and gives another F5 to Cena, and then they
When would
work
that
it
match happen then?
maybe in September.
Crown
And I
Jewel?
yeah right, and they'll be in what's that in Australia, right? Would that be Australia or is in Saudi?
I thought it was Saudi. I mean that's possible, but I thought Cody was stepping away for a little bit to film Street Fighter. Him and Roman.
Wait, who you say?
I thought Cody
Oh,
and Roman were stepping away to film Street Fighter.
that's possible. You know what? I did see something about that too because he's playing Gal, right? If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken. Yeah. Michael Patrick checked it. He said back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, when there was still people protecting the business, then the rabbit came out. So just to think now, WWE protecting their storylines with fake injuries or whatever. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. I mean,
yeah.
going on
Remember,
now.
Sandman didn't come out of his house for 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Cena Paul Paris and Cena and Brock probably in Saudi.
Yeah, I bet you they asked for it.
Oh yeah.
They fucking asked for Yokozuna before.
We want Brock. Oh, wait, did you see the news that dropped tonight
No.
about them trying to do 2 WrestleManias in
Oh, I saw
2027?
that.
I'm
I
like,
saw that.
yo, again,
I'm not totally against that because clearly, like Saudi's paying a lot of money, right? So if that's what Triple H has to do to keep that money rolling in, but also stay loyal to the fans here, I'm
right.
okay with it.
I don't know. Will it be still 2 nights here? Or would it just
That's a
be
good
like
question.
would it be
I just
one
think,
night, you know?
yeah, that's a good question. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because you having 4 nights of WrestleMania in 1 year, that's just like overkill.
Yeah, I agree there, but when I first saw that, I was like, I actually had a little bit of respect for Triple H because I was like, you're actually trying to keep like Mania here, So if that's what you have, if that's the workaround to make everyone happy, so be it.
Right, right.
But
On the world heavyweight title side, I mean, we think about it, we started with Gunther at the top of the year. holding down the title, and then we had both he and Jay Uso, having their battles. At the top of the year, and then now we got Seth Rollins in the mix, CM Punk, coming close as far as like well, I'm gonna say coming close, but he actually did win it, but ended up having to lose it in a matter of 10 minutes. So
Now we got
like,
LA Knight.
yeah, it looks like LA Knight is about to get his push. You think you think this push gonna be successful for LA Knight? I don't know. I feel like this could be like one of those, hey, look, the time is now. Like if you can't be successful off of this push, then you either gonna be low card or in catering.
Yeah, that's what I was reading. Like they want to kind of get LA Knight a push now, so that in like a couple of weeks when Roman and Cody are gone for a month or so, they can still have names to kind of draw the crowds, right? So
Yeah.
LA Knight was one of those names I saw that was going to kind of fall in line there. But I don't like LA Knight to me is such like an interesting kind of person to look at because like he's one of those guys where it's like he's getting over regardless of where he's at on the card. It's almost like why risk feeding him to the champion this soon just to
Mm.
lose? Because obviously Seth, after cashing and having that huge moment at SummerSlam, is not dropping it this soon.
Right.
So I would look at it like, why feed him just to lose to the champion right now when he's still over the without feuding with the champion?
Yeah. I think what the project going to be with this is how much of a buzz they can keep him afloat, like going into like a Royal Rumble that's at the top of 2026.
Yeah,
Shit, like it looks like he's probably going to be involved. I feel like we talked about this before in a different situation, like as far as like going into Survivor Series, like about with
we didn't
someone.
talk about it, but
But
Monday night,
this feels similar.
yeah, Monday night I put a text out to our group chat and said, "There's your war games."
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
okay, yeah. And I feel like we talked about this before, like with either last year's War Games or the year before, like someone was like being built in like a similar situation, and now
well, last year it was Bronson
it was Bronson. Right,
before he broke both of his legs.
right. Yeah. So now, like almost like LA Knight is like in that position where, okay, look, like you make or break it, you know,
But
either
yeah,
you going either gonna get pushed or catering where is that, or you just gonna be doing vignettes in the back, But
yeah,
I wish Chris was on tonight. Shout out to Mr. Moyle Fit because after what took place on Monday, you can't tell me Bronson Reed is not being built as a top heel.
yeah. Well, no, I would love to have him on for a couple of reasons. Because he also told me that LA Knight isn't a main event talent because he's not in the main event.
Right.
Check Monday night.
Yeah, I wonder if he's watching. He probably like you bastards.
Yeah.
Wait till I get
Seriously
back.
though, like if we got into that argument where it's like, do you have to be in the main event to be a main eventer? And his argument was, well, LA Knight can't be one then because he's not even on SummerSlam. But then the Raw after SummerSlam, he is the main event, right? He is the focal
Right,
point.
right,
So yeah, again, it's a business. So if you're moving the merch and you're getting the viewership, and you're getting the likes and the follows and the comments on social media, you're a main eventer. I don't care where your position is on the actual card.
right,
In my eyes, if you're moving merch, you're getting good spots on the card, getting good viewership. I mean, and the fans are reacting to you. You're a main eventer.
right. He said, "I'm just wondering if the PLE numbers will go down with people having to pay the $29.99 a month for the ESPN channel." I'll be honest, there's a good chance numbers could go down.
They're definitely
Like,
going down.
Yeah, like no numbers could go down, especially for like those who the parents that may not be like totally invested into the product,
Yeah,
and then now having to make these adjustments just to be able to accommodate. Like, yeah, I could definitely see the numbers going down a little bit.
yeah.
Question for you, and this is just kind of random. Do you know how many active titles WWE currently has?
So let's start from the top, right? On Raw, you got the world title and the IC title.
But before you go through all that, if you had to like give a guess right now, like just with a number, just throw a number out there, and it's also include all the sub promotions as well, meaning like
I would
NXT
say
and
18.
Evolve. Huh? That's a relatively good guess. 23.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and we talk about AEW having many titles. Like
Holy
they got
crap.
they got 23. I ain't gonna go through them all, but you I mean, you think about most of the promotions, like you
Rattle
would go
off
through.
some of the names of the current champions, so.
All right, okay, undisputed.
I just want to kind of bring people's attention to this. Read some of the names.
All right, undisputed. Cody Rhodes, Evolve champion. Jackson Drake, Evolve Women's champion. Kylie Armstrong, WWE ID's Men's champion. Cappuccino Jones, ID Women's champion. Kylie Ray, Intercontinental champion. Dominic, NXT champion Obafemi, NXT Heritage Cup champion Channing Lorenzo, NXT North American champion Ethan Page, NXT Tag Team champions Hank and Tank, NXT Women's champion JC Jane, NXT Women's North American champion Sol Ruka, Speed champion is El Grande Americano. WWE Tag Team champions are the Wyatt Six. United States champion Solo, WWE Women's champion Tiffany Stratton, uh, Women's Intercontinental champion Becky, Women's Speed champion Soul, Women's Tag Team champions Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, Women's United States champion Julia, Women's World champion Naomi, the World Heavyweight champion Seth freaking Rollins, and the WWE World Tag Team champions The Judgment Day.
So you said women. No, that so Judgment Day is the men's champion, right?
Correct.
So 23 champions, right?
Yep.
And I was just doing non-white wrestlers. 6.
Mm.
6 out of 23 is a horrible ratio.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Representation.
Listen, I'm at my neighbor's trailer, right? So if I cut off, it's because my phone died. I'm at like 10%, but I
Got
should
you.
be able to make it to the end of the show. So
Yeah. I mean, at this point, we was about to switch over to the women's, to the women's roster, and just kind of highlighting as far as like the runs that they got going on right now. And I will say, and this was eye catching because this belt was just launched this year, and I was thinking about the women's Intercontinental Championship and how Lyra was the first champion, and pretty much like she's held this belt half of the year, and honestly I think she's probably going to be like in the mix of winning, getting this title back possibly by the end of this year.
yeah, I think what they're gonna do right now is have Becky help get people over with
Yeah.
this girl.
Yeah. I will say, nothing against Becky, like, because Becky's, still puts in the work, but I don't think she's still at that the man persona. Like
No,
what she's doing now, I feel like it's beyond the man persona.
the man persona was like once in a generation, right? Like
Yeah,
that was like a run where you'll never get back to that point. It's kind of like you hit that peak and everything else is just going to be below it.
not to mention the business was different then. Around that time when she even got the nickname.
Yeah,
Like,
that was special.
yeah, that definitely. But I mean, far as the women's championships go, like, is there anyone that you feel like could make a case for running for the women's championship going into the end of the year?
Um, I'm actually happy with the women's division right now. I'm not gonna lie. I think right now they are where they should be. I think they need to lean into Tiffy like full blown heel a little more. I feel like she's always been stuck in that tweener spot, depending upon who she fights.
Right.
But I think they just need to kind of dive headfirst in here and just full blown heel, regardless who she fights.
Yeah, they had an interesting spot on SmackDown tonight where Julia and Kiana James had approached Jade as far as possibly getting her involved with their faction. And then out of nowhere, Mia Yim was like, "Hey, what are you gonna be doing with that card?" So Jade gave Mia the card, and Mia was like, "Yeah, I might use this so I can get me a championship title match." And so I'm like, "Huh, interesting." And ironically, they all were wearing blue too. Talking about Jade and Julia, so the same exact blue color too. So I'm like,
Mm,
let me find out. Like they might teeter on the lines with a Jade Hill run
that's
like
pretty
that.
cool.
Yeah, that would be interesting. So, but no, I think the women's division is in a good spot. Like, I mean, if they were to work on something, maybe it could be the tag team division a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like
I think they
outside
have
of
too
that,
much talent, bro, in NXT.
yeah,
I think sometimes you can have too much. I think right now they have too much, which is a
yeah,
good issue to have.
they're starting to get into that pocket where it's like, all right, like you got a host of women that can vie for for that NXT championship. Like what's going to be the move? But it seems like they're in that space where they don't mind pivoting and like opening up like the forbidden door and just having more matches with
Yeah.
like other TNA talent. Which
Yeah.
I'll be honest, it's actually made NXT even better than what it's been. The NXT TNA run.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think they've done a better job now of balancing out talent on each.
Yeah. And definitely Trick Williams, Tricking A, the champion. Like he's definitely grown on me. Like not that he hadn't before, but I think he's really like coming into his own as far as like being the TNA heavyweight champion and like on like this like Hollywood vibe.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty funny. But
Yeah. I think he has had a very good character growth over these past couple of months. I think he's ready to move up.
yeah, no, definitely. One other thing before we cut out of here for tonight. Um, Actually, two more things. So if you had to like grade the WWE for the first half of 2025, what would you give the grade? And this is
Um,
just solely on not the outside politics of the brand, but the actual in ring entertainment that we receive.
I would say B because for a lot of the time I felt like stuff was done that was head scratching, right? Like
Right,
Jay dropping the belt when he did, just for Gunther to then drop it to Punk and stuff like that. Like I don't know, there was a lot of head scratching things that happened that didn't make sense. But there was also so much good that they did that I would give it a B. Not quite bad enough for a C, but not quite good enough for an A.
right. Yeah, I'm kind of on the same lines. I was actually gonna go probably B minus. With the sake of, I feel like they had a good run in the early portion of the year, but that rock situation
Yeah,
definitely set the men's division back probably about a half a year. I think we have to say it like that, because they should have been able to push that a little bit longer than what they did.
Yeah.
So I'd give
Let's see if
give
there's a
that.
charger in here because I got 1%.
Oh man, yeah, I definitely gotta give that B minus. So, but
No,
nah,
I agree there.
yeah. One other takeaway. Thoughts on the Becky Lynch Nikki Bella segment?
That was the best thing I've seen on Raw in months. In
Yeah.
months.
Nah, that
If
was
that's the
great.
last topic, if that's the last thing I say because my phone's about to die any second. Best thing on Raw in months. That was the closest to man Becky we've gotten in years.
Right. No, it definitely was good. I was like, yeah. I said somebody fed her that, to say that, because like I was like,
Oh no,
no way.
she's pretty witty. She's pretty witty on the mic, bro.
I don't know. I can't. I think somebody set Becky up to say that.
I
I
definitely
think
think she had
so.
to get that approved before she said it.
Right. No, for
Like
sure.
Nikki had to approve that.
Yeah. No, I agree. So, all right. Well, I know you out and about. You know what I mean? Appreciate you taking your time. Keeping.
Yeah, I definitely
You
think
know what I mean?
next week though we got to do a more in-depth State of the Union.
Yeah. Let's see how things go. You know what I mean? During the week. I as much as I actually wanted to talk AEW, because honestly, I'm loving the Young Bucks, you know, momentum right now, and I like what they got going with this tag team tournament. But we definitely got to circle back on them as well, and get talk about their state of the promotion as well. So all right, so ain't gonna hold you too much longer. This was Still Steps, powered by all of the Talk Sports Network. Mr. Joey Woods. I am Politic and Hot, and we will holla at y'all next Friday. Till then,